nice city, a day in the life. I was on my own, catching a ride with the lady. Her hair hangs down past her thighs, blue and pistol shit. Satisfies, leather jacket, zipped up tight. And big ones coming, look for lost and found. Iron beams, bright and night city, where your appetite weighs you out to sunrise. She pulls my trigger, got me up alright. It's a danger pretty here in nice city. Here in nice city, got me up alright. Here in nice city. The way you chase and tease me, get me up so high. We're on the rooftop and you don't compromise. Too many hollow, empty bodies lying around my street don't testify. You got to whisper now on your arm, and so we keep on moving. Gotta take it slow, no. She pulls my trigger, got me up alright. It's a danger pretty here in our city. She
Yo. Hey, welcome. How's everybody doing? Excuse me. Shit. Hold on. Let me get some in my throat. Hold on. Pause. Hold on a second. Yeah. Hold on a second. All right. Okay. So I've been seeing. First of all, how's everybody doing? Hope you had a great day. It was relatively warm today. It was pretty much like 60, almost 60 degrees. It was nice. I was outside with a hoodie on. I ain't had no jacket on. I won't bundled up. I won't nothing. Just had on a hoodie. No skull cap, no nothing. Yeah. That's good. And I looked at the forecast. Supposed to be, warming up a little bit. I don't know how long it's gonna hang around, but shit, I hope it stay. But yeah, how was my day? The man came here to repair the wall from the burst pipe, so you know what I'm saying. They had the whole humidity thing and drying out, so that was open for like a week. And then he came over today and repaired the wall. Uh, he said he'd be back Friday. Another guy's coming back Friday to paint. Um, went and paid some bills. A bill. I went and paid a bill. Um, yeah, that's about it. That's about it. Came home, stopped by and picked up some, some shit, a little something to eat tonight and some trees. I got some trees that were getting low. Some brew. I've been hearing about this Jeffrey Epstein that he might still be alive. I keep hearing that. First, I don't want to believe it, cause it's like, come on, man. But it just keep popping up. Tim Pool done spoken about 3 times. I ain't watched nothing he said yet, but I seen him speak on it. I seen a couple other people speak on it. I just seen the headlines. It was like, yo, this dude might be alive, yo. I don't know. I don't know. So, thank you for coming through. And I'm gonna start with this dude named Trap Lord Ross. Some dude from Britain who looked like one of the Beatles, or something like that. But for some reason, he got his ear to the joint, especially trill rap, that drill rap or whatever, man. He really be on that shit, man. It's really awkward because you see him and be like, wow, this dude is really into that shit. But here we go. Let's see what we got. Uh, Hold on a second. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Let's see what we're talking about.
Disturbing revelations coming out of the Epstein files, and this one is going to chill you to your core because it's now being revealed that apparently
He got a motherfucking
the
gun
day
back there.
before
Beyond
Jeffrey
gun.
Epstein was found dead
Swear.
in his cell, apparently they had already drafted the press release for his death. Now, I couldn't really believe this when I heard it, but I am seeing this absolutely everywhere on Reddit, and it's just not adding up. It's not making sense, and I'm scared. I'm honestly quite scared. I was going to wrap it up. I was going to stop talking about this, but every day there is a new revelation. There's a new bombshell in the files, and this one makes it pretty hard to believe that somebody didn't know what was going down in that cell. I'm scared to even say what it is.
That's a
Look,
given.
this is one of several posts that I'm going to.
The cameras turn off. Come on, that's a given. Anybody who believe that he committed suicide is an idiot. You know what I'm saying? That's not even questionable at this point.
Show you talking about the same thing. It says an internal draft of the New York Southern District's press release announcing Jeffrey Epstein's death stated a day before his body was found. Now, people are saying, how does this make sense? An internal draft of the New York Southern District's press release announcing Jeffrey Epstein's death is dated the day before the body was found. The press release itself is still posted live online and dated Saturday, August the 10th, the day his body was found. But the internal draft of the press release is dated the day before. Now, people say it's actually embarrassing for the US government how obvious of a cover-up it is. They're saying, agree, they had one job, all right? So they're saying this is the final press release. So I believe this was the original press release that's got the wrong date on it. Now, is it possible that maybe they accidentally typed the wrong date, saved it, and then realized? I guess so. I'll read you what it says, but this says for immediate release, Friday, August the 9th, 2019. Now, if you didn't know.
Yeah, Henry, sorry about your loss, man. I heard about it. It's gonna suck, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, it's gonna suck for a minute, but it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better, but it's gonna suck for a minute. It might suck for a good little minute, but you know what to do. You know the Lord is good. Yep. Sorry about that, man. Straight out from the heart. Hope the best for you and your family, man.
Oh, now I can't show you what's at the bottom of this photo, okay? But what I can show you here is it's basically, these are kind of like reports from within the prison, the Metropolitan Correctional Center. And this says, it's a picture, I won't show it to you, and I didn't know these pictures existed, okay? These are unredacted photos of Epstein's resuscitation. I can't show you these on YouTube. I might do another video looking at these, maybe on my Patreon.
He might be, bro. I ain't putting it, I'm not gonna say I believe it, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't putting it out the window. You know what I'm saying? If I found out that they proved it and it was like actual proof and be like, holy shit, here he is right here, I wouldn't be shocked. You know what I'm saying?
If you want to see that, let me know down below. But this says the time that this photo was taken, and they're all crowding around his body trying to resuscitate him. This is at 6:33 a.m. All right, on the 10th of August. So press release talking about August the 9th, 2019 just don't really add up. How? 6 a.m. And this is the same. The first thing I thought was maybe it's in a different time zone, but then this is New York. This is the Southern District of New York. So this says statement of Manhattan U.S. Attorney on the death of defendant Jeffrey Epstein. Manhattan U.S. Attorney Jeffrey S. Berman earlier this morning, the Manhattan Correctional Center confirmed that Jeffrey Epstein. It's interesting it said earlier this morning, right? Because we knew it was in 6 a.m. mission. Anyway, I don't even want to say the wrong thing here. Jeffrey Epstein, who faced charges brought by this office of engaging in trafficking of minors, had been found unresponsive in his cell and pronounced dead shortly thereafter. Today's events are disturbing, and we're deeply aware of their potential to present yet another hurdle to giving Epstein's many victims their day in court. What a shame. What an unfortunate coincidence. To those brave young women who have already come forward and to the many others who have yet to do so, let me reiterate that we remain committed to standing for you in our investigation of the conduct charged in the indictment, which included a conspiracy.
The AI Toolkit is live on Artlist. Every leading AI tool you need for video creation is now organized for you.
Can you teach?
Conspiracy count remains ongoing. Now, maybe got to look into that conspiracy count. I don't even know what to say. Okay, so we continue to urge anyone who feels they may be a victim or have information related to the conduct in this case, please call 1-800-CALL-FBI. Imagine you're a victim and you see this debacle going around and you think, oh yeah, I think I'll call in. Yeah, the conspiracy. Yeah, I'll call in. I'm not trying to be on the wrong side of this conspiracy. Now, a lot of people have noticed, okay, this is the pre-release, the pre-order, all right, pre-saved. They pre-saved this body, and it's got 19XXX at the bottom of it. Now, apparently this is the official one. This is the correct one, okay? And this one's got some redactions, but this one says August the 10th. They've got this right, okay? But the text is basically the same, all right? He's been found unresponsive in his cell earlier this morning, is exactly the same, all right? And they're still, they're still urging you to call in. You should call in, but this one's actually got some correct information. So, yeah, people are saying the identifier at the bottom of the page is corrected. It says, wow, so that further proves it was written on the 9th and approved.
Well, they saying they found a lost minute. Because remember when the camera cut off, they said that they found the lost minute and that it's a fake body. They switched the bodies. They said I've been watching the videos on. I'm just looking at headlines and everybody's talking about this. This shit is wild, bro. This shit is wild, man.
On the 10th and a file number updated. Here's the live version dated August the 10th. Is this actually on the website? Yeah, this is the actual one that was published on the website. It's got the date there. Crazy. Okay, this one is actually on the website. It's the exact same text, so we don't need to worry about that. People saying, whoopsie. All right. That's interesting. It says, don't know if it means anything, but Epstein is told to be a 66-year-old black male. He was definitely blackmailing people. Just found it to be interesting. A document about psychology services intake screening on the 7th of August, 2019, 3 days before his checking out. It's interesting. There's some interesting stuff in this document. I mean, this probably won't surprise you, right? But essentially, he basically explains, he basically explains, look, protective factors. Mr. Epstein adamantly denied current idle ideation or intent or a history of self-deletion attempts. He stated, I have no interest in offing myself, he explained. Although this situation is not perfect due to him being incarcerated, he noted he has lots to do for his legal case. He described having a wonderful life to include interactions with interesting people and projects. He said, it would be crazy to take his life. He furthered, I would not do that to myself. He denied feelings of hopelessness, although he did report being depressed and unhappy about his current situation. He previously denied a history of childhood abuse. He's reported he's sleeping adequately now he's no longer in the SHU. He appears future-oriented as he endorsed an interest in being housed in Gen Pop. He adamantly denied self-deletionality, okay, in light of his vague self-report regarding the incident which precipitated his placement on S-Watch, combined with his fear of his own safety. He reported difficulty managing his time in the SHU and the high-profile nature of his alleged offense. He'll be stepped down from S-Watch to psychological observation, okay. He said he would not do that. Now, how crazy is this as well? Look at this. They said, asked about the alleged incident which transpired yesterday resulting in his placement on S-Watch, Mr. Epstein said he's frustrated. He's been placed in a punishment cell for no reason. Specifically, he was referring to his placement in the SHU. Asked to recall events surrounding the alleged incident, Mr. Epstein said his cellmate was playing with a bedsheet and claimed he does not recall the events thereafter. He said he recalled eating meat and drinking water and claimed the next events for which his memory is his hearing himself snore and waking up on a stretcher. He said he does not recall himself or his cellmate tying a string or rope around his neck. He said he's been trying to remember and racking his mind. Asked if he experienced any interpersonal issues with his cellmate, Epstein described his cellmate as agitated and claimed that the cellmate called him a PDF file for the first time yesterday. He said his cellmate was reportedly reading a newspaper article about Mr. Epstein, which bothered him, and it was something responsive in his cell and was pronounced dead shortly thereafter of an apparent self-deletion. So, interesting how they drafted that and updated it, right? Future-oriented, expressed a commitment to life and safety. The notes show Epstein said, he explicitly said, being alive is fun. Being alive is fun.
Out to the most of the documents that were sent to our committee, those initial documents were given to right-wing influencers back in February. The files and the full report, according to the Attorney General, were sitting on her desk ready to be released. We know that the Attorney General herself has shared with the president directly that he is also in the files. The reason, and we don't understand why this cover-up by the president continues to not release the full files. And so the discharge petition is an important additional step forward for the Congress, the full Congress, to be on record to release the full files. And so that piece is important. And it's clear that, well, maybe there are some Republicans in Congress, and hopefully all, that want to see disclosure. That is not the case with the Republicans in the White House and the Department of Justice.
So 7 months to get released, 97% of which already been released. But again, Mr. Comer, I mean, do you support the Massey counter resolution? Yes or no?
We're already doing it. And let me say, the discharge petition does not have the force of law. We've already subpoenaed.
You can begin by
look,
saying no, and I'll let you.
No, look, Mr. McGovern,
Yes,
it's very
and you can
disappointing that you're trying to politicize this. We're trying to get answers.
Let me
We're trying to
reclaim my
do
time.
everything that's in this discharge petition, but you're trying to politicize it.
No, it's a yes or no question. It's not a trick question. I mean, do you think...
We've already done what the
think
discharge petition's
Do
asking.
you think the resolution saying to keep doing what you were doing is better than a bill that can become law?
The bill has no force of law. It has no force of the law.
Yeah.
You're just trying to do a political stunt.
Look, ask the question, Mr. McGovern, let him.
Well, I was asking a question, he interrupted me.
Okay,
It's a simple yes or no question. Simple yes or no question. Do you
We're
support-
already doing it.
All right, well, that's not a yes or no, but do you think the resolution saying to keep doing what you were doing is better than a bill that can become law, which would require the release of all the files?
It doesn't have the force of the law. It's just a political stunt. It's just a political stunt, and you know.
This is a resolution. The counter is a Massey counter bill would become law. If all you Republicans want everything released, then, you know, you could vote for it, and then if he decides to veto it, you could override the veto.
The subpoena goes further than the discharge petition. Discharge petition is just a political stunt. Just a political stunt.
All right, so you're...
And look, we have done everything bipartisan in this investigation. This is an opportunity. And I think most of the Democrats on the Oversight Committee want to be bipartisan in this, Mr. McGovern.
So you're not going to answer my question, but look, we're meeting here under an emergency procedure to consider this resolution, which, if I'm reading it right, simply tells your committee to continue doing what you're doing. Do you need this resolution to continue doing what you're doing, Mr. Garcia? I mean...
We don't. The resolution as presented is not necessary. Again, we want disclosure. We want the files released. But what should have happened is we should vote on the discharge petition and move it forward and then continue our work. Can I say one more thing, Mr. Ranking Member? I also want to be clear that the DOJ has not been forthcoming or presented everything that we've asked for in the subpoena. And I think it's important that even in our recent interaction with the DOJ, they're essentially now not giving us any new additional information as to when we're receiving the rest of the files. And so having Congress act and taking a vote on the full release of the files is an important additional step, which is why the discharge petition is important. And the resolution should not somehow take precedent or discourage members from somehow signing the discharge petition.
So help me understand what we're considering right now. Does this resolution grant you any new authority?
No.
I think the resolution will send a signal if we end up in court. If, as the victim stated today, there's some of the most powerful and some of the richest names in the world were involved in a cover-up, we're going to end up in court. And I think the resolution will demonstrate that Congress is working in a bipartisan manner, not trying to be partisan, to get the truth to the American people and hold people accountable.
Yeah, why don't we do both? I mean, Mr. Massey, last time I checked, is a Republican. Other Republicans will sign that. I mean, why can't we do both?
I think we can. I think.
excuse me, Mr. McGovern, would the gentleman yield a moment?
Yes.
We can. We certainly can do
Okay,
both.
well, let's do-
We'll pass this resolution here, and then if sufficient people sign the discharge petition, then it will come out. And it's my understanding there is a significant difference in the resolution that we have here and the Massey resolution, and that is this resolution demands disclosure, whereas the Massey resolution does not. So I think we can do both and let that happen. We want to show that we want this done in a very important way.
Well, if we can do both, then why is the Rules Committee standing in the way of allowing, I'm going to have a vote on the Massey counter resolution. Why would Republicans of the Rules Committee block us from just bringing it to the floor? We could vote on both.
Because they've already started the discharge petition.
Well, that doesn't,
They've already started it.
yeah, well, that's a nice, well, that's,
Get it right.
whatever, that's, I
Get
don't
it
even want
right.
to say what I'm thinking about that answer, but let me just ask, this is a yes or no question. Does the administration have the power to release the Epstein files with appropriate redactions to protect the victims and the survivors? Do they have the authority to do that?
I think so with the
Okay.
subpoena.
Yes.
All right, they do, but they're not. And Mr. Comey, this resolution that is before us right now says that you're investigating mismanagement that led to Mr. Epstein's death. Who was the President of the United States when Mr. Epstein died in custody?
I would assume it would have been Trump.
Yeah. And I have just one last question. You referred to Ghislaine Maxwell as a terrible individual. And I guess the question is, maybe you can enlighten us, what have you done to investigate why Ms. Maxwell was moved to a minimum security facility? I mean, she's a convicted child predator, sent to prison. She testifies before some people in the administration. She didn't testify. She answers questions that are put forward by somebody in this administration. She basically says the president didn't do anything wrong, and then all of a sudden is moved to a minimum security facility. Are you going to do? Have you done a hearing on that? Are you doing a hearing on that?
We've subpoenaed Ms. Maxwell. She sent a letter via her attorneys and said that she requested that we wait for the deposition until after the Supreme Court rules on her appeal. We're hoping that's this month. So as soon as the Supreme Court rules on her appeal, we'll go in and do a formal deposition. So Mr. Garcia will be there. I'll be there if he wants to be there.
I'm not interested.
And those questions can be asked. Those are legitimate questions.
Well, but I don't think Ms. Maxwell can answer those questions. I mean, I listened to some of her interview, and it
just asked him,
sounded
was
like
he
there was
gonna
no
do that? He just told you,
cross-examination.
yeah.
I'm just curious why, after she said what she said, was she moved? So it's
He
not
doesn't
about
know.
Ms. Maxwell. It's about somebody made the decision to move her,
trying to
which
say it was true.
I don't think
He's saying he's asking, we're
was
asking when he
expected.
get a
Mr.
chance to
Garcia?
subpoena.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's be really clear. First of all, Democrats on the committee, we did not support moving Ghislaine Maxwell's testimony after the Supreme Court heard her appeal. In fact, that was a decision that the majority made that we did not support. We think that Ms. Maxwell, before she was interviewed by Donald Trump's former personal lawyer, should have been in front of a bipartisan committee in a deposition. And so, to be clear, and I think it's safe to say that it's an outrage and shameful that Ghislaine Maxwell was moved to a facility where she is now more comfortable and has more access to folks both on the outside and her ability to move freely, when she has victimized over hundreds and hundreds of women. And I'll add one more thing to that. We've written to the DOJ, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, demanding answers, yet no response from the Attorney General. We have no idea why she was moved and at whose direction was she moved to that facility.
But she was moved, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, by this current administration, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think
I would think that, you know, I mean, this is so outrageous that a big part of the investigation of your oversight committee should be on that as well. And I mean, I hope that you pursue that. But again, I mean, I think it is imperative that we pass the Massey kind of bill, because I think it does have the force of law, and because I don't trust this administration to basically. I mean, something's going on here. I don't know what, but there's a reason why everybody went from we're going to release the files one day to the next day saying we're not. So in the spirit of full transparency, in the spirit of demanding that they do what they said they were going to do, I think I think we need to do more than what we're doing. Mr. Comer?
But they're trying to get the files
I was just told by
This is
counsel, the
ridiculous.
documents pertaining to the move would fall under the Department of Justice subpoena. So I think that's a fair question that I'm confident if we don't ask it, Mr. Garcia will,
Hold on a second.
whenever we're.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this whole episode is,
They're both posturing. They're both posturing saying they want to get it released. He's saying, okay, well, sign this bill, and then what's up with the president and Maxine? The other, they're saying, yo, why y'all, this is, Lord have mercy. Just get the shit done.
Thank you, Mr. McGovern. Ms. Fishbach, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I am confused because the Oversight Committee is trying to do the investigation, trying to get the information, trying to get it released. They have been working on it most of August.
Yes.
A significant part of August. So I am confused as to why the Democrats are opposing this, because you are doing it in the way that it should be done, not some resolution added, like the Democrats attempted to in Rules Committee in the middle of, well, it wasn't the middle of the night, in the evening. But instead, this is a thoughtful way that you are handling this bipartisanly. And so I am just really confused about that. And I just want to say that I thank you for doing what you're doing, because we obviously need to figure this out in a respectful manner, so we are protected.
Look, hey, Kurt, if this is you, I'm going to let you in, man, but I'm telling you, dog, I ain't having it. You know what I'm saying? But if this is you, if this is what I think it is, I'm going to let you in, man, but if you start bugging, man, I'm not even going to play. What's up?
What's up, DJ?
What's up, man? What's good with you? Yo, can you hear me? Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
What's up? What's up? Good? Everything good?
You need to clear out your ban list, man. The reason you only got 5 people watching is because you got everybody blocked.
Anyway.
That need to be answered with respect to some things. So we've not put a line down. We're only going after the Democrats. That happened in the past when the Democrats were in charge. They only went after Republicans. We want to get the truth, and it goes back. It spans 6 administrations. So look, for whatever reason.
In
various departments of justice for decades, and name names, and nothing's been done. You know, the Biden administration had an opportunity to release the Epstein files, and they didn't do it. You know, you go back. I mean, this is something that we're committed to doing, and we want to do. I want to be able to say the Oversight Committee, this was a big investigation. The American people are watching. I want everything out and open. So, you know, we're trying to do it, and we're trying to be bipartisan, and hopefully my friends across the aisle, I think the majority of the Oversight Democrats are sincere and want to do this in a bipartisan way. Hopefully the Democrat leadership will let this be bipartisan and not play political games.
Thank you.
Would the gentlelady yield?
I will yield.
I'm confused too about something that Mr. McGovern said, that 97% of what's been released was already public information. I'm not sure why that's negative, because they keep saying that okay, 3% is new, but now it's all available to the public. Is that correct? Because
Yeah.
maybe it was released to some people, but now it's released to everybody, right? So everyone can see it.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what the 3% is that hadn't been released before, whether it has any significance, but I'm confused, as the young woman from Minnesota is confused as to why are they downplaying that, or why are they saying that's a waste of time?
I don't know. It's not. And, you know, I think all of us during August, if we went out and met with constituents,
I like her.
they were all asking about this. The American people want to know. They would like. I've said this in a million interviews. They want to know, you know, who all was involved in the sex trafficking, what big names were taking advantage of those girls, and was the government involved? Those are the three questions, and I hope we'll be able to get as much information as possible. Look, this dates back, according to what we heard today from the victims, as far back as '96. So, you know, let's hope that there's still documents around. I've always had a huge distrust of the FBI and the Department of Justice under
I feel like he's a good guy. I feel like he's a good man. I tell you that, but I feel like he's a good man, yo. He's fighting a good fight.
various administrations, and I've always had a theory that sometimes documents don't survive from one administration to the other. We're going to do everything we can to get that information, and I think this resolution's a step in the right direction. I don't think the other thing's needed.
I thank the lady for yielding.
Thank you. But just to reiterate, I just hope that the Democrats will stop the grandstanding and really, work on the bipartisan oversight committee and making sure that these things are dealt with. I think it's a disservice to all of the victims to not work and to pretend that this is somehow bad.
Republican.
But focus on it and make sure, I'm asking the Democrats, make sure that it's bipartisan. Make sure that you're doing what needs to be done, the disclosure's done and the investigation is done. Because this isn't something that should be about political points. This is about something that we should investigate. And so with that, I just hope that they would come with us and help with the Oversight Committee investigation.
Thank you.
With that, I yield back.
Thank you.
Ms. Scanlon, you're recognized.
And I would yield to Mr. McGovern for a minute.
You know what?
I'm sorry there's so much confusion.
I'm thinking they're going to have a hard time sweeping this one under the rug, bro. I think they're going to have a hard time sweeping this one under the rug.
On the Republican side of the aisle.
This might be a day of reckoning. All of this Epstein shit might be a day of reckoning, yo, because they might have a hard time sweeping this one away. And I'm talking about the big dogs, the big dogs, the shot callers.
Or dealing with this.
Geppetto.
And I've also, we began our August recess early because none of you wanted to take a vote and hold this administration accountable, and you ran out of town. So again, and want to do something bipartisan? Maybe we all can join on a bipartisan appeal to this administration to find out why Ghislaine Maxwell was moved to a cushy facility after she exonerated Donald Trump. So I'm sorry. I mean, we've lived through the last several.
He's bullshitting. We get that. We get that. They said as soon as we get a chance to talk to her, we're gonna talk to her too. That's what this whole thing we pushing for is. We need access. Let's get access. And he's standing in the way, yo. This dude, some bullshit. He on that bullshit.
Several weeks, as Republicans have tried to avoid dealing with this issue. And so I hope, and I trust that there's bipartisan cooperation on the Oversight Committee, and I want that investigation to move forward. But for the life of me, I do not understand why the administration, after promising to release all the files, has chosen not to. So that's what I'm confused about. I thank the gentlelady for yielding.
What?
Thank you.
I don't understand what's going on. Hold the fuck up. Okay. He's saying the Trump administration has promised to release all the files. They haven't released them. And the Republicans are saying they want access to the 3% that they didn't release, and the Democrats are standing in the way of them. What is this? What is this? Am I saying this right? Hold on. Hold on a second. Okay, so he's saying why haven't the Republicans, why haven't this administration released all the files? They said they was going to release them, then all of a sudden they said they're not. It's up to them to release them. They got control. Okay, they're there asking them. They're supposed to be blocking it. They're asking for a resolution to go through and get the files, but they're blocking the release of the files. Is that why? Is that what's going on? The release of the 3%? Is that what? Am I missing something? Because that don't make any fucking sense. This is a psyop.
The public, whether it's been through the media or other ways. And so we can get the full files today. We know the DOJ has them. They're not answering our questions. We're asking when are we getting the rest of the files. We get no response. And to clarify one thing, Ms. Gallen, I think it was said earlier by another member of the committee that we're somehow opposing this resolution, or we're not opposing anything. We want full disclosure. If the majority wants to put together a resolution to add to more disclosure, that's fine. But that resolution should in no way supplant the discharge petition or serve as some kind of distraction to not get the full Congress on record to release all the files.
Okay. I mean, I guess I was asking about the redactions because there's been reporting that under Attorney General Bondi, hundreds of FBI and DOJ man-hours have been dedicated to redacting all references to the president. So is there anything to indicate that the materials you've received thus far contain some of those redactions?
So we believe that the materials that we've received so far there are redactions in there. We are reviewing some of those redactions currently. The team still is. But we believe that a vast majority of those documents are actually not presenting any new information. And we do believe there are important and critical documents that we have not yet received from the DOJ that contain important information to this investigation, and we have yet to see those.
That's why.
Do you have explanations for the redactions that you have seen thus far? Have those been provided by DOJ?
We do have some explanation of some of the redactions, but there are no documents in what we have been presented that are of concern as it relates to redactions.
I'm just concerned because that is one of the pieces of the Massey underlying legislation, which is that to the extent the DOJ turned over any materials, it would have to explain any redactions or claims of privilege or whatever.
But that's important, certainly in future documents. So as more documents come forward, ensuring that is a piece of it is going to be important.
And I guess going back to this issue of Ghislaine Maxwell getting this cushy assignment, my understanding is that when she was moved to this new facility, that was against Bureau of Prison regulations, and someone higher up from the White House or the Attorney General's office would have had to excuse that normal Bureau of Prison rule.
That is correct.
Right? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, thank you. Anything else you want to add?
Just that I think that Republicans should join Democrats on the Oversight Committee and others in demanding answers as to why Ghislaine Maxwell was moved and who gave the orders to move Ghislaine Maxwell. We still don't know that question, that answer.
That's the best he can do.
I think that's an important part as well. And
That's the best he can do about
pleased
that.
to have been able to sign the discharge petition before we came up for this hearing. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Scanlon. Mr. Norman, you're recognized.
Thank both of you for coming. I think what's interesting about this hearing, Mr. Governor, you've been kind of very critical of everything that's been going on here and about you need answers, and some of it we do need answers on. But the biggest, and you said things were outrageous and whatnot, you're confused. What I'm confused about, you were elected to Congress in 1997, 28 years. You were chairman of this committee, the Rules Committee, from 2019 to 23. Now, if this is all of a sudden so important, when you as chairman, you had every right to bring up everything we're talking about now. What do we hear from you? Crickets. So that's the big confusion I have. And Representative Comer, the thing about political grandstanding, that's all this is.
Well, I didn't
and I don't.
presidential campaign
hold on,
saying it was a
I'm not
release of the
talking.
Epstein files.
If I've got the floor, I recognize you, but I'm not. We're not going to talk over each other. Have some decency.
That's right.
This is an anti-Trump. You're asking all these questions. Who released Ghislaine Maxwell? When you had the opportunity, you didn't say one word. This is anti-Trump, and it's coming out for that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this: how many victims were interviewed today?
6.
And you think it's hundreds?
They said it was hundreds, like close to 1,000, but hundreds. It's what the attorneys for the victim, the attorneys were represented by 4, the victims were represented by 4 attorneys, and they said as many as 1,000.
Well, the process is moving forward.
Right.
We all know the discharge petition.
And
I don't mind having 2 tracks. But the bottom line is, Mr. Governor knows it has to go to the Senate. I don't know what they'll do with it, but it's going to take time. You're not waiting on anything.
No.
You're moving forward.
We're moving forward.
And like Chairman Fox said, everything's going to get released. Now, let me ask you this. Are the flight logs public information? Who flew on the planes?
Is it?
You want to know? I
Okay.
like him too.
Some are, but the estate subpoena should cover more of that.
We all know anybody how far back with the flight logs? You can alter a flight log on an air. If you're flying on a plane, you can't.
Back to 1990.
Okay, 1990. We know people that were on that flight weren't going over there to have Bible studies.
Right.
They were doing other things. So we'll see, is your opinion, all the flight logs of whoever went, doesn't matter.
Right.
That will be released.
Yeah. I mean, I want to know. I think everybody wants to know.
You hit it on the head, James. I mean, people want to know the names.
Yeah.
If a crime has been committed against
I like this
thousands of women, young girls,
I like this guy.
this
I like this man.
transcends
I like this man.
politics. That's why I don't understand. The fact that you're politicizing this is not right.
awesome.
This transcends. This is young girls getting abused.
That's right.
So the fact that the flight logs will be released, we'll know the names of who flew over there. And then the public, I think that's the big name. If crimes have been committed, who did it?
Right.
And then let them face a trial.
Absolutely.
Let them face a jury of peers. Now, I think Ms. Scanlon said the redactions by Attorney General Bondi contained things with President Trump. Now, what did you say, Representative Garcia? That was not right. Correct?
I think, well, first, to be clear, I think the Attorney General herself has said that President Trump is in the Epstein files, to be clear. That's been reported. And as far as what redactions include the president, we don't have the files yet to know what those redactions actually are.
But when you get the files, both of you will ask the question, why were they redacted? Who did it? And as far as who put Ms. Maxwell in another prison, I assume that will come forward.
Well, and to be clear, our request has been to redact the names of the victims. There shouldn't be circumstances, nor would we support redacting the names of the perpetrators or anyone that actually committed the harm. And so that would not be our expectation. And so we think the full release of the files is important to check that work, of course.
That's it. Why you gotta get your name out of
So so it's nothing with President Trump has been redacted to your knowledge of what's been released so far.
It just has, yes.
If anything with President Trump's name has been redacted, it has not been, it's not something that's been it's not any new information. Okay. So that has not been presented to the public.
So this just further illustrates, this is just a hatred of a president who has got support of 77 million people.
I mean, sir, it's the president that actually campaigned on releasing the full files when he was running. I mean, he had made this the central issue of one of the central issues of his campaign.
Aside from that, though, you had 4 years under the Biden administration. He was chairman of a committee. He could have brought it up day one. He didn't do it. So if all of a sudden the interest, to be honest, I'm glad it's coming out now. There's been a lot transpired with Ghislaine Maxwell, the death of, I don't even know, when did Epstein die?
2019, August.
2019. Okay, so a lot's happened
August what, 10,
over
11?
the 20 years of this. Well, thanks for what you're doing. I think that the public needs to know, as they do on most everything. There are a lot of questions of the government involvement in the shooting of President Trump. I mean, that's going to come out at some point, not only Butler, Pennsylvania, but the golf course. So is there anything you want to add to what Mr. Garcia or any?
No, I just think that, you know, the subpoena covers everything. I mean, if there are flight logs with the estate, that'll fall under the subpoena. If there are questions about why Maxwell was moved from Florida to Texas, that'll fall under the DOJ subpoena. So we are moving forward, and the Department of Justice has been working with us to turn over those documents. It takes a long time to gather and transfer 34,000 pages, and we're hopeful there's more, and we'll look at that and then post it online as quick as we can.
Okay.
Mr. Norman,
Thanks for
would
doing
you
that. I like
yield
that.
for a minute?
Pardon me?
Would you yield for a minute?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'll yield.
Sure. I just wanted to seek unanimous consent to put in the Newsweek article from August 1st of this year, so just last month, in which it talks about the fact that Trump's name was in the Jeffrey Epstein files and that 1,000 FBI agents were redacting those files to remove his name and others. So it's an August 1st, 2025 Newsweek report. It was also in Bloomberg and several other things, but I know we were on break, so you might have missed it. I yield.
Without objection.
So what you just said, y'all will be able to get into that, won't you? So you'll be able to answer every question. Now, Mr. McGovern, in fairness to you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's all you can do. If it's there, it's there. We just got to start asking questions. Trump in there, he fucked up and shit. Trump ain't above the law. He was over there doing some shit him too. Shit they say they did to them girls is wild, yo.
To go. So I wasn't chairman then of the committee.
No. Of 2019 to 2023, you were chairman.
I would have. Yeah, I mean, if people had brought to my attention that there was something there, I would have demanded that they be released.
The victims, no.
Well, I mean, if the victims came to us,
that didn't hold water.
But the victims want the files released, and Republicans have been frustrating that effort for months and months and months. And you even adjourned early to avoid having to vote on it.
That is not true.
I want the truth out there. I want the files out there.
This is what I don't understand, man.
I'm reclaiming my time.
This is what I don't understand. This is what I'm saying. Is something because they both are saying release the files, but they're both blocking each other. This is the Republicans saying, yo, we want all of the shit. The Democrats are saying, I don't know what the fuck the Democrats say, whatever, but then the Democrats are saying that, yo, Trump name is being redacted. What's up with that? You know what I'm saying? Shorty was just, that lady, I ain't say Shorty, the Congresswoman, give her respect. I said, you know what I'm saying? She said that the FBI, whatever, like what did she say? Like 1,000 hours or something crazy. Just redacted his name from the shit. This is crazy, man. This is crazy, bro, because they're both saying, release the files, release the files. Why won't you release them? That's what they're both saying. Why won't you release them? It's like the Spider-Man shit, the Spider-Man circle shit.
On a resolution to force the release of the Epstein files to the public, to pass a bill that would make it law that all of the files would have to be released. And there is no reason why we cannot still have that be a rule. And we can do both. But Republicans, and Trump especially, seem terrified of those files and seem willing to do all kinds of things to avoid a vote on that bill.
I know.
Now, I want to go into some other things, but I'm going to yield some time to my ranking member.
No, I would just want to respond to Mr. Norman. I knew there was some there when this administration was trying to hide everything. And that's, quite frankly, what, what has a lot of us concerned about
what is this?
What we're not doing here today, and that is not voting on the Nazi counter bill.
Trying to
and my understanding is that there's some reporting out now, we're hearing that the White House is calling Republican members asking them not to sign onto the discharge petition. And I don't even know what the hell happened to your resolution that you brought up before we kind of abruptly left early for our August recess. But yeah, this doesn't smell right. I think we need to get to the bottom of this, and that means that all the files have to be released. I yield back, I think, to General Lady.
Thank you, Ranking Member. And, I am chair of the Democratic Women's Caucus, and we are always concerned about the fact that in this country, women and children and girls are attacked, they are abused, they are raped, they are trafficked. And they are done so by men like Epstein and by women like Maxwell Ghislaine. And I think that it is an outrage, as you pointed out, Ranking Member Garcia, that she has now been treated favorably by the Trump administration.
That's crazy.
After saying some things they liked. And what we haven't heard
crazy.
from you, Chair Comer, is a commitment not to say, well, it's going to be in the subpoenas, but to have a hearing on why. Will you commit to having a hearing to determine why she was moved to a more favorable conditions after that interview?
We'll have a hearing to determine the crimes that were committed. The hearing's going to be geared towards seeking justice for the victims, not scoring political points
This is
like
not
you
a
all
political
want.
point.
We're
The
concerned
victims-
about the victims and their request that someone finally be held accountable.
I understand where he's coming from, too.
Because they weren't during the Biden administration, they weren't during the
Get to that.
Obama administration.
I'm going to take.
They weren't
back
during the
to-
Clinton
Chair Comer,
administration.
The question
Listen,
was
what
whether
he's
you would
saying-
hold a hearing as.
We'll have a
What he's saying is we'll get to that, but first let us handle these victims that these motherfuckers violated. Let's handle that first, and then we'll get to that. That we got that. I get it. This is wild, yo. This is wild.
hearing.
Transferred.
You-
Why she was transferred after. that
We'll have a
interview.
hearing, and if
so
someone
the
wants to
answer is
ask
no.
that
So
question,
the
they can
answer is
ask
no.
it. You can
So the
ask any
answer is no.
question. We'll have a hearing.
But it wasn't a hearing on what the question was. And Ranking.
You want to have a whole hearing, a whole entire hearing, not about the victims, not about a government cover-up, not about human trafficking, but about Maxwell, who you all were like begging to be deposed, and I did the subpoena. Now you want to, now you're mad because she exonerated Trump. We brought in Bill Barr, who is I don't think it's any secret that he and Trump aren't best of friends, and
I'm going to reclaim my time.
Well, that's
Reclaim the
fine.
time. The question wasn't about shouldn't we do all these things, but this is something very specific that indeed, as I understand, the victims raised today, they're outraged that this has happened. And it is indeed a re-traumatization when somebody who has done such horrible things is then treated favorably under these conditions. And I think that's where it's at. And I really want to thank you, Ranking Member Garcia, because you focused in your opening remarks about the horrors of what you heard today and of why it is so important for the survivors that they get justice. And it needs to come in many forms. And I think the fact that Trump doesn't want us to vote on this bill tells you a lot, right? And why are Democrats worried? We are worried because Trump keeps distracting and lying about things. Right? Anytime he doesn't like something, he distracts and he lies. He claims inflation is down, but America's working families who are paying more for energy and groceries know the truth. Our small businesses are closing because of those tariffs.
Don't you do
Trump
this.
didn't like the fact that Americans are losing jobs, so he fired the person who gathers the data.
This
And
ain't
with the
about none of
Epstein
that.
files, he's terrified of what's
This is
in those
not the stage
files,
for
and he
that.
knows his name will keep coming up again and again.
Democrats full
And
of shit,
it is
yo.
tied to the fact that Trump himself, Representative Garcia, you know that he's been accused of sexual misconduct at least 28 times. He's found liable by a jury of his peers for sexual abuse and defamation.
Oh, some bullshit.
So
I ain't-
we're not going to
I
be
ain't-
surprised
dude, I ain't buy that
when we
shit.
find out that his name has been in his files, and we want to see what they are. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I think we want to know what Attorney General Bondi told the president as it relates to his name being in the files, and has been widely reported. And I think the American public they have a right to know.
Right. And I think that Americans are worried about trusting Republicans on this because now Chairman Comer is saying we're doing all these things. Had they done anything at all before Democrats forced the vote on the subpoena? Had oversight done anything on
Well,
this
I think
before?
that's a good reminder. I mean, the vote was a forced vote by a subcommittee of Democrats on oversight, where we got not all, but some Republicans to join all Democrats to subpoena the Epstein files. And had Democrats not taken that action, we'd have no subpoena, and we'd still be much further back in this investigation.
Right. And there were 2 Democrats who voted against that subpoena. Is that correct?
All Democrats.
I mean, sorry, 2 Republicans, all Democrats. Democrats forced the vote. Oversight had not done anything with regards to this until Democrats forced the vote, and then you had 2 Republicans vote against it nevertheless. Is that correct?
Including the.
It looks like this is what I got so far. Republicans want to get to the truth of this. These guys here seem like good guys. This guy in the back, I don't know about old boy. He's weird, you know what I'm saying? I don't know about him right there too. But Republicans want to get to the bottom, whatever. Trump fingerprints is all over this shit. Now, even if you rock with Trump, man, we have to get to a point to where, okay, he might be. Look, I voted for Obama twice. I don't front on that. I never lied about it. I took my kids to Harbor Park out in the cold. I didn't even know who he was, but all of a sudden he just came out the blue. He was just Barack Obama, and blah blah blah. I was like, who is this dude? And I was starting to think, oh my God, we about to have a black president. I never thought it would happen in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, he might fucking win. He came to Harbor Park. Shoot, I had my 3 daughters, my 2 older sisters out there. We was in line, standing in line in the cold, man. I'm out there. Long story, but I was like, yo, I want my kids to be there on some, like, this was a moment for black culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I want my kids to be there to see that shit. It was cold as a bitch. But anyway, it seems like, but even when Barack was fucking up, I was able to say, yo, Barack fucking up. You know what I'm saying? For real. I could look past the whole first black president, he can't do no wrong, whatever. I was like, yo, dude fucking up. Trump, look, it look like his fingerprints all over this shit, dog. You gotta be honest about it, man. Shit. The man ain't, you know what I'm saying? Y'all like to say we used to call Barack, we used to say black people used to think Barack was like Black Jesus, whatever. Whatever y'all like Trump. Y'all doing the same thing with Trump, man. Y'all doing the same thing, bro. Trump, I don't know. Like his fingerprints all over this shit.
Subcommittee.
I'm asking about past. I'm asking about what this is. And this is the problem. And the reason why we're concerned about this is, Chairman Comer, I've read accounts of you describing yourself as a Trump man.
As a what?
Trump man. I'm a Trump man. You said,
Well,
I'm a Trump man.
I mean,
Yes.
I
So
support the president.
you support the president, and this is why it would be important to have in writing the bipartisan nature, because we want there to be bipartisanship so that it is not a.
I want it too, but you all aren't making a good case up here. But I'm hopeful that Mr. Garcia is going to see past the behavior of the Democrats on the Rules Committee.
Madam Chair,
This is bullshit.
Chairman Comer, I was speaking. And I think that it is important that we have people looking at these docs that are not a Trump man, so that we can make sure that everything gets responded to, because right now, we haven't seen it.
Smoke.
And that's why we want to make it the law of the land.
This is smoke.
We want to make sure that all Republicans vote on the Massey-Connor resolution.
Listen, this is one of the stupidest, most retarded stalemates. This would be we're at a stalemate. We're at an impasse. We both want to. We all want to find the truth. We want to find the truth. What's up with the truth? And this, and that, this, and that. But everybody's standing in everybody's way somewhere. And Donald Trump fingerprints is on this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I understand what they said, but I understand the Republicans saying, "Look, we'll get to that when we get to that." This is. I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. This is. I don't know. This is bad comedy, man. Because I understand what both sides are saying. Why was she moved? That's wild. It's already wild that she was in there for. They never even went after who she was trafficking. They accused, oh yeah, you found guilty of all of this shit, trafficking girls. Well, who the hell she trafficked them to? You know what I'm saying? Who she trafficked them to? That would seem to be the next fucking step. You know what I'm saying? You violating little girls and little boys. See, the next logical step would be like, yo, who the fuck was she sending them to? That never happened.
And so
And I think the same should be said for the other side of the
being in that discussion today as well.
Thank you, Mr. Comer. Mr. Garcia, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to begin in a very bipartisan manner. Earlier today, I think both Republicans and Democrats got a chance to hear just horrific stories and to hear these incredible and brave women. Thank you. Earlier today, we heard, of course, these horrific stories from these women who are incredibly brave and the courage that they showed to be here to share stories of sexual abuse, some of them when they were girls, young girls, I think has shaken a lot of us on this committee and reaffirmed our commitment to the truth and transparency. Now, the Oversight Committee, particularly Democrats, are going to continue to investigate the Epstein files and bring justice to the victims of these heinous crimes. After meeting with the survivors, of course, of Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, we're once again reminded of the monstrous actions that they took against over 1,000 women and girls. It's important that we center their stories and work for accountability. And I want to just remind this committee and the public that Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell are monsters, criminals, liars, and in no way should they be lionized or supported. And it is an outrage that Ghislaine Maxwell has been moved to a facility where she's now more comfortable. And I think it's also appropriate to say that that was also horrifying to the women in the testimony that we heard today. And re-traumatizing the victims because of this move is shameful and should never have happened in this country. When you harm innocent women and girls, you should be held accountable, and I'm hopeful that in a bipartisan way this committee will do that. Now, I appreciate that, of course, close to 34,000 pages of documents have been released by the Department of Justice. That is complying with the subpoena, of course, that was put forward. But over 97% of those documents have already been released to the public. And I'm glad that we're releasing all those files to the American public. Most of it's already in the public record. What we need right now is full compliance with the subpoena. And the Attorney General, who once said that the files were on her desk, should release all the files immediately. There cannot be additional failures or additional cover-ups by this government that has already failed these victims now for decades. That cannot continue. We've got to follow the facts, we've got to get all the files out to the public, and we've got to ensure that there's justice for all of the victims and the girls. I also just want to add that Oversight Democrats have supported every single time there's been an opportunity to support transparency. We, of course, forced a vote to release and get the subpoena out. We will continue to take those actions. But any action that promotes transparency, we're going to support. If there's going to be a resolution, of course, it's going to come in front of the Congress to support additional transparency.
I get it. And look, I'm almost glad. Hold on.
supplant the work on the discharge petition that Congressman Khanna and Congressman Massey are moving forward. We will continue to support that discharge petition, and we will support any other resolutions that come forward that also holds Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell.
I would have liked to hear the testimony for the victims today, but then again, I don't want to hear. It's like kind of like it's one of them things where bad is enough. I really don't know the details, and I'm like, well, I don't want to. It's horrible. You know what I'm saying? It's horrible, dog. What they did was horrible to little girls and boys, man. Yo, and it seems like I don't know, bro. I don't know. All these guys is the wood chipper. I got accused of some bullshit, which is ridiculous, but just saying like your man Trump fingerprints is all over this shit, man. It don't look right. I mean, for real. I mean, we all seen the photos with him and Epstein. It's just shit. Plenty of photos of him and Epstein, dog. And this is way before AI and all that, you know what I'm saying, whatever. There's plenty of photos of him and Epstein, and we just gonna all pretend, and then old girl get moved for no reason at all. Get moved, to some chill shit? Don't look right. Then they saying like thousands of hours were spent redacting his name. I mean, you just can't turn your head and be like, okay, well, whatever. Come on, bro. Keep that same energy. I gotta keep that same energy, man. Shit. That's for real.
Name is, we don't care how powerful you are. We want to know the truth, and we're doing everything we can, and I hope that the Democrats will work with us in this endeavor and not politicize it.
Thank you. I agree with you, and I was in that hearing for the meeting with the victims today, and I appreciated very much, Mr. Garcia, what you said about this being a bipartisan effort and there being so many Democrat members there. But I also agree that there hasn't been this level of interest in this issue before.
Right.
I've been here a long time.
It dates back, what we learned from today, it dates back to 96. It dates back six prior administrations. So there have been many other administrations that could have released it and for whatever reason hasn't. But thus far, this administration is producing documents like we've asked, and I appreciate that.
Right. So you've stated a little bit already, the information that you've already received from the Trump administration after the subpoena for the records was executed, and how quickly the committee started receiving the information.
Yeah, as soon as the subpoena went out, we heard from the Department of Justice. Their attorneys started communicating with our attorneys, and they started gathering the documents, and I think we got the documents in record time. I can't remember a time when we subpoenaed the Merrick Garland Department of Justice and never got anything from them. So I applaud the Pam Bondi and the Trump administration for working with the committee and for being transparent.
And as you just mentioned, there have been times when you have requested information. I can remember I'd been here 3 months and I was on the Oversight Committee, on a subcommittee, and we had a bureaucrat come in, and the chairman of the committee said, I've asked you for 3 years to give us information. And the person just sat there and wouldn't say a word and wouldn't respond in any way. Wouldn't you rather have a subpoena in hand above everything else, even a law passed by Congress?
Absolutely.
Which can be challenged in court immediately to get this information?
Absolutely. We're doing what that discharge petition wants done. And we're 3 steps ahead of that discharge petition. We've already deposed former Attorney General Bill Barr. We've already subpoenaed the estate, the Epstein estate, for all the documents.
And
We've
you
already
said
subpoenaed.
September 8th, the material would come from them?
I'm sorry?
You said the Epstein estate is going to start producing material?
September 8th. September 8th, they're going to produce the documents from the estate. I believe September the 16th or 19th one, Alex Acosta's coming in for a deposition. And I know that during our discussion, Ms. Crockett and Raj Krishnamurti, I believe, asked questions about what we should ask Acosta. So everybody, both sides are going to get equal time to interview Acosta on all of that. And again, the administration has complied with our request, and you know, I think we're getting those documents, and as we speak, they should be being uploaded to a website right now.
And it's my understanding that the Massey document, the Massey legislation, only asks only for information from the administration. Is that correct?
That's right.
It doesn't go beyond the administration.
Right, and we're going to go beyond it. We're already getting the documents from the administration, and we've moved way past, because that discharge petition was filed 6 weeks ago. We've already deposed, you know, again, the former Attorney General. We've got dates set for others to come in. We're downloading 34,000 pages of documents. We met with the victims today and got more names that they said in front of the minority, and we're going to press forward with that. So we're way ahead of this discharge petition. I don't think it's necessary at all.
And and you are going to be in a very unique position of being the arbiter of any needed redactions, keeping that decision in the hands of members of Congress, correct?
Correct. And there were, one of the victims today made it very clear she didn't want her name, you know, made public. Others said they were willing to let their names be public and were willing to testify in a public hearing. And so, you know, you have to know, you have to have, grant privacy rights to the victims. Some of the victims want their names out there, and some want their names to be redacted.
And it's my understanding that was not sufficiently taken care of.
That's correct.
In the Massey legislation.
That's correct. And I also want to mention that Speaker Johnson sat through the whole meeting today with the victims, the entire 2.5 hour discussion we had, bipartisan discussion.
And what I heard from the victims was that they feel for the first time that they're being heard.
They feel that they're being heard, but they made it very clear they don't have a lot of trust in anyone affiliated with the government because they believe that their government has let them down. And the timeline of that would date over both Republican and Democrat administrations in the past.
Correct. So let me see if I can put all this together. You believe a formalized investigation by the House is the best path forward to obtain the records and disclose them to the people.
Yes.
You've made a commitment, and our resolution makes a commitment to disclose everything that can possibly be disclosed short of violating the privacy rights of others.
Yes, ma'am, 100%.
And by having the full House vote and speak in support of this investigation, it will be helpful to you in executing the mission that you're about. Is that correct?
Absolutely. If we have to go to court for something, if it's a good bipartisan vote in the House of Representatives, that only helps.
Okay. I appreciate that very much. Mr. McGovern.
Thank you very much. First, I think I want to ask unanimous consent to insert into the record the Massey-Kana resolution, because you keep on saying that it doesn't protect the victims, but there's in yellow here, there's some pretty explicit language about protecting the identity of the victim, so I don't want there to be any confusion.
Without objection.
And, you know, Mr. Comer says it's unnecessary, but this bill we're doing right now is unnecessary because you're already doing something. So I can't help but feel that this is like cover. And I got to be honest with you, I've been, we've been trying to bring, legislation to the floor. We're trying to, amend bills to try to get this administration to do what Trump said he was going to do during the campaign, and that is release all the files.
Just my patience, 'cause he keeps saying the same
I mean, we had to
fucking
recess
thing.
early because people didn't want to take a vote on it.
Come on now.
And I think, I appreciate the niceties of both of you appearing before this committee right now, but I got to tell you, I think what's going on here today is the Republicans are terrified. And I think we all know why. And that is because the president doesn't want to release all the files. I mean, after promising that he would release them during the campaign.
I don't understand what this says.
That was in 2024, and then 2025, he says, it's all a big hoax.
Help me out. He's saying the president don't want to release all the files. And here's the president's administration asking them, can we please release all the files? I don't understand what this says. I don't understand what this says. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it on this note. I can't do this. This is. I'm not gonna give up that easy. I'm giving up that easy.
Hoax is perpetrated by Democrats and some stupid Republicans. That's his quote verbatim. So when you say all Republicans want this stuff released, I don't think that guy does.
That's right.
And what you're telling us that you're going to release some of the files tonight. If I heard Mr. Garcia correctly, 97% of which is already out in public. So we get 3% that's new. I don't know what it's going to say. But I just don't understand what the big deal is. Why can't the administration just release the files? You can do the investigation, but just release all the files. Trump and the people he put in charge of the FBI and the DOJ promised that they would. And it's just kind of strange that they haven't done so yet. I mean, don't you think? I mean, we just want to know, what are they trying to hide? Why is this such a difficult thing for them to do? Before we left for recess, you guys all told us that you wanted to release the files and that a non-binding resolution authored by Mr. Norman was an important step forward to getting the Epstein files released. Why hasn't that been called up yet?
Do you understand that he's saying, why won't they release all the files? And that the guy that he's asking, why won't they release all the files? He's asking him to pass a law to release all the files. Okay. I'm about to brain short circuit on this one. Get both. Okay.
Happen for the files to be released is one thing. The Trump administration needs to release them. That is all. And if that's too complicated for some Republicans to get their arms around, that's okay, because they're in luck. Someone has already done the work for them, because there is a bipartisan bill offered by Mr. Massey and Mr. Khanna that would force the administration to release the Epstein files while protecting the victims. And Mr. Comer, just for the record, I think you're not in support of the Massey counter bill, but let me ask you formally, do you support the Massey counter bill to release the Epstein files?
We're doing that as we speak. And you said some of the documents were going to be released. All 34,000 documents will be online, hopefully in the next 5 minutes, if they're not now.
Yeah, but 97% of which we've already seen. Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, I just want to add, first, appreciate the comments, but we should be clear. If it's true, as the chairman said, that every Republican supports disclosure around the Epstein files, then every Republican should sign the discharge petition from Congressman Khanna and Congressman Massey. There's no question. And the key difference in that petition as well is that petition ensures, one, that members of Congress are all on the record on releasing the files, and two, that petition, as you have in front of you, also ensures that the files actually go to the American public, that they're actually released to the public. I appreciate that the subpoena that we forced a vote on is going to our committee, and it's important work. Most of the documents that were sent to our committee, those initial documents were given to right-wing influencers back in February. The files and the full report, according to the Attorney General, were sitting on her desk ready to be released. We know that the Attorney General herself has shared with the president directly that he is also in the files. The reason, and we don't understand why this cover-up by the president continues to not release the full files. And so the discharge petition is an important additional step forward for the Congress, the full Congress, to be on record to release the full files. And so that piece is important. And it's clear that, well, maybe there are some Republicans in Congress, and hopefully all, that want to see disclosure. That is not the case with the Republicans in the White House and the Department of Justice.
So 7 months to get released, 97% of which already been released. But again, Mr. Comer, I mean, do you support the Massey counter resolution, yes or no?
We're already doing it. And let me say, the discharge petition does not have the force of law. We've already subpoenaed.
You can begin by
look,
saying no.
Look, Mr. McGovern, it's very disappointing that you're trying to politicize this. We're trying to get answers. We're trying to do everything that's in this discharge petition, but you're trying to politicize it.
No, it's a yes or no question. It's not a trick question. I mean,
we've already done what the discharge petitions ask.
Do you think the resolution saying to keep doing what you were doing is better than a bill that can become law?
The bill has no force of law. It has no force of the law. You're just trying to do a political stunt.
Look, ask the question, Mr. McGovern.
Well, I was asking a question. He interrupted me.
Okay.
It's a simple yes or no question. Simple yes or no question.
We're already doing it.
All right. Well, that's not a yes or no. But do you think the resolution saying to keep doing what you were doing is better than a bill that can become law, which would require the release of all the files?
It doesn't have the force of the law. It's just a political stunt. It's just a political stunt. And you know.
It's a resolution. The kind of.
But that older the older woman, the older lady. Man, I like old spicy women, yo, and she's old, but most people are women. She's in a position of power, but she got her wish. That lady knows something she earned. She ain't get there by favoritism. Since she an old bird, she ain't get there by favoritism. She earned that shit because the old boys did not want her there. Believe that. The old boys did not want her there. You know what I'm saying?
Is a Massey counter bill would become law. If all you Republicans want everything released, then, you could vote for it, and then if he decides to veto it, you could override the veto.
The subpoena goes further than the discharge petition. Discharge petition is just a political stunt. Just a political stunt.
All right, so
and look, we have done everything bipartisan in this investigation. This is an opportunity. And I think most of the Democrats on the Oversight Committee want to be bipartisan in this, Mr. McGovern.
So you're not going to answer my question, but look, we're meeting here under an emergency procedure to consider this resolution, which, if I'm reading it right, simply tells your committee to continue doing what you're doing. Do you need this resolution to continue doing what you're doing, Mr. Garcia? I mean...
We don't. The resolution as presented is not necessary. Again,
you have it listened, you type it in, and then you go digging.
You literally just drag it in, and it'll be an audio clip.
It's amazing how it's not playing the commercials.
This plugin is especially sick because, like, as soon as you put something in, it's a limitless amount of potential ideas.
Type in cello, hit 5 samples, and it will automatically find them synced to 184 BPM and D minor.
Commercials that I would be interested in. Instead of the shit that's
yes, come on. And the fact that I don't have to go to another place and
y'all
look
see
for
the shit?
sample, it helps my flow so much.
Co-producer plus arcade. Those two together is like a superhero team up. Generate sampler.
Motherfucking ring doorbells. They said the ad ran during the Super Bowl. I didn't watch the Super Bowl. They say the ad ran during the Super Bowl. We got backlash. Like if you lose your dog, you know what I'm saying? Like say you lose your dog, lost pets, or whatever, that you can send out whatever alert, dog alert, and all the Ring cameras, wherever you're at, will start scanning and looking for. That is not cool, bro. That is not cool. And I was just thinking about getting me some Ring shit. Like, nope. Nope. I do not like that, bro. That is wild. That is why you can just type in your phone, I lost my dog, whatever, and all the Ring cameras, and they say it's automatically installed. Automatically installed. Fuck that. Hey, look, man. It's coming. It's coming. It's got flight plans from J Electronica. It's coming. Lord, send me to Egan. It's coming. It's coming. Matter of fact, I'm go play it. Yeah. I remember. Hey, hold
The
on.
administration have the power to release the Epstein files with appropriate redactions to protect the victims and the survivors. Do they have the authority to do that?
I think so with the
Okay.
subpoena.
Yes.
All right, they do. But they're not. And Mr. Comey, this resolution that is before us right now says that you're investigating mismanagement that led to Mr. Epstein's death. Who was the president of the United States when Mr. Epstein died in custody?
I would assume it would have been Trump.
Yeah. And I have another, just one last question. You referred to
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time around, the revolution will not be televised. Woo! As we proceed to give you what you need. Oh, 9, brother. Get it live, brother. Ladies and gentlemen of the court. And the hearing against State of Hip Hop versus J Electronica. I present Exhibit C. When I was sleeping on the train, sleeping on Mesereau Lab out in the rain, without even a single slice of pizza to my name. Too proud to beg for change, mastering the pain. When New York niggas was calling Southern rappers lame, but then Jack and I slang. I used to get dizzy spells, hear a little rain, the voice of an angel telling me my name, telling me that one day I'ma be a great man, transforming with the Megatron dawn, spitting out flames, eating whack rappers alive, shitting out chains. I ain't believe it dead, nigga, I was homeless, fighting, shooting dice, smoking weed on the corners, trying to find the meaning of life in the corona, till the 5%ers rolled up on the nigga and informed them. You either build or destroy, where you come from. The Magnolia Projects in the Third Ward, slum, It's quite amazing that you rhyme how you do and that you shine like you grew up in a shrine in Peru. Question 14, Muslim lesson 2. Hold up, dip diver, civilized 85. I make the devil hit his knees and say to our Father, abracadabra. You rockin' with the true and living. Shout out the Lights Out, Joseph I, Chewy Bivens. Shout out to Baltimore, Baton Rouge, my crew in Richmond. While y'all debated who the truth was, like Jews and Christians, I was on Cecil B, Broad Street, Master, North Philly, South Philly, 23rd, Tasker, 6 Mile, 7 Mile, Hartwell, Gratiot. When niggas really would pack a U-Haul truck up, put the high beams on, drive up on the curb at a barbecue and hop up out the back like what's up? Kill a nigga, rob a nigga, take a nigga, bust up. That's why when you talk that tough talk, I never feel you. You sound real good and you play the part well, but the energy you giving off is so unfamiliar. I don't feel you. We need something realer. Nas hit me up on the phone, said what you waiting on. Tip hit me up with a twit, said what you waiting on. Diddy send a text every hour on the dot saying when you gon' drop that first nigga you taking long. So now I'm back spitting that he could pass a polygraph. That Reverend Run rockin' Adidas out on Hollis Ave. That FOI Marcus Garvey, Nicky Tesla. I shock you like an ill electric field J Electra.
He ain't done yet. He ain't done yet.
They call me J Electronica. Fuck that. Call me J-Elect Hanukkah, J-Elect Yarmulke, J-Elect Tramadon, Muhammad Assalamaka, Rasulullah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala through your monitor. My Uzi still weigh a ton, check the barometer. I'm hotter than the motherfucking sun, check the thermometer. I'm bringing ancient mathematics back to modern man. My mama told me never throw a stone and hide your hand. I got a lot of family.
My mama told me the same shit. My dad told me that
got my
same
back like the Verizon man. I play the back and fade the black and then devise a plan. Out in London, smoking, vibing while I ride the tram. Giving out that raw food to lions disguised as lambs. And by the time they get their seat top and deploy all their henchmen to come at me from the treetops, I'm chilling out at Tweet Stock, building by the millions. My light is brilliant.
And how he ended up fucking with one of the wrong jobs. That's wild. Lord is good, man. Call your
First chapter of the end.
Lord is good. Y'all be safe.
The last chapter of the beginning.
They on some bullshit.
Ain't this so?
They on some bullshit.
Things we do without even trying. Be better than